right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who were well taught in this truth. Peace and salutations. Be to the Akim that's pushing this truth with all righteousness and sincerity. I'm the brother Yashar Gabar, back to you again with another lesson, Lord willing to be edifying unto the elect. All right, I'm just gonna touch on this video I came across. As I say, it's a Jake. It says what made $104,000 for the employer in 12 hours. What the hell? All right, so and this is why we tell Jake, hey, the scripture tell you, man, hey, that this is not your rest. It's still you're still in captivity. Hey, this money, all right, it's crumbs, man. The money you're making is crumbs. There's levels to it, man. You think you're getting to it, but it's always levels, man. Esau Edom is in rulership, man. And this place has to be destroyed, man, for you to receive, all right, that real rest, man. All right, to see real wealth. You see Jake with millions of dollars. Even millions of dollars, man, ain't shit, man. So the things on this side can't compare, all right, to what we are about to receive, man. All right, the kingdom. All right. So and it's all crumbs, man. All right, it's all crumbs. And you put in all this work, you do all this hard labor ass work, man. And you get paid crumbs. So in this video, I'm just play it, Jake, working at a job, and I'm pretty sure, it was some devils in the office. He said they called him in the office, and, they was all smiling and everything, and they showed him what he made, all right, for them. All right, so fair use. All right, I'm going to play the video and jump back in it. Salaki.
Our shift, right? They told me come look at the computer, right? They all smiling. So I'm like, what the f*** smiling for? What the f*** I done did? Feel me? I walk around the computer, look at the computer. They're like, look at your numbers. I'm like, damn, all right, 110%. That's what's up.
Okay.
Like, yeah. You made us $104,000 a day.
What? It had to be some devils, man. He said they all smiling and everything, And that's how they are, man. They sit back and they looking at Jake like, hey, should we show him, all right, how much he made us? Pretty much throwing it in your face, all right? Because, yeah, you know how they think. They ain't doing this shit just to show you, for the fun of it. They doing it to throw it in your face, man. Oh, yeah, this nigga that he didn't work 12 hours. Oh, he think he he's a good employee. Well, let us show him how much he done made us, All right, let's throw that shit in his face. He think he's running it up. He think he's getting to the money. All right, well, let us show him, how much he made us. All right? Fucking devils, man.
$104,000 in a 12-hour shift? Well, you work
104 what? 104 what? $104 or 104,000? I'm in the wrong profession. You know what I got paid for today? Like $200, and I made you $104,000.
That's crazy. For a 12-hour shift, and you made
Yeah, man, that shit is crazy, Jake, to work a 12-hour shift, probably made a few $100, all right, just for that day. And here it is, that 12-hour shift he did, he done made someone else $104,000, man, all right, so, hey, man, just shows and proves that you still in captivity, all right, so let's grab this, the book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 8. It says, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power. Yeah, so, hey, the Lord, brought this captivity upon us, to serve for a punishment, man. All right, for the iniquities of our fathers, man. All right. But it says what? We are yet this day in our captivity. This day, man. All right, we still in captivity. All right, Jay think, and be bugged out thinking, hey, man, we ain't in captivity. We all the same. We all, they work hard. We got a job. They work a job. But it's levels to it, man. It's different. All right, Esau, Edom. All right, hey, these devils is still, living off, the captivity, the hardcore bondage that we went through, that we done built up. That their grandfathers and everything, shit just been passed down to them. All right, businesses and all. Man, and here it is, yo ass working they shit, man. All right. Hey, me and another brother, we were just speaking on this not too long ago. How it's levels. All right, you have an Edomite working the same job as you. All right, but hey, this devil, he doesn't really care about this job. He still may have money behind him. He still have come from a wealthy ass family. All right, he just doing it just to do it. All right, All right, but it says what? We are yet this day in our captivity. All right, to be subject to payments. Here it is, you bringing in crumbs. All right, you done made someone $100,000, and you get paid a few $100s and all that shit. Hey, it's bills. You got to pay this. All right, hey, all type of bills, man. You just subject to payments. Non-stop. All right, and that's how they make it, man. All right, that's how Esau Edom made it. All right, for you to be in hamster world. Not able, to focus on, even trying to start your own business. All right, they make it hard for you to do that. All right, you need a license to do this. You need a license to sell food. You need a license, and they make it hard for you to get a license. And it costs hella money just to get the damn license. So it's all, to oppress Jake, keep Jake, in the slums. You want to make some money, well, put in 12 hours, nigga. Work 12 hours straight. All right? Which is going to make us more money. And you just going to get some crumbs, all right? Out of $100,000, and someone sitting back making that much money, all right, for your ass to be, slaving, working a 12-hour shift straight to only bring in some fucking crumbs, man, a few $100s. All right? And Jake don't see shit wrong with this, man. If you don't see shit wrong with this, all right, hey, you're a fucking sellout, all right? You bugged out and the Lord going to destroy you. All right, because you part of the fucking problem, man. Jake don't see nothing wrong, all right, with the condition he in. All right, he don't believe he's in captivity. He thinks everything is just normal. This how it's supposed to be. This how it's gonna, I guess this just what it is. No, man. All right, the Lord's about to get ready to destroy this fucking place, man. And the time we coming in, hey, you forget about these jobs and all this shit anyway. All right? Ain't nobody about to be working soon. So, let's see, man. Let's move on. Trying to make this quick, straight to the point. Haggai chapter 1, verse 5. It says, now therefore, thus said the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. Ye have sown much, and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put into the bag with holes. All right? So, yeah, you sown much, man. All right? You did all this labor. You work hard. Everything is already about $1 with Jake. Jake, if anything, he's trying to get to the money. You can have, a job, a side hustle, or trying to start a little business, all type of shit, but you bring in little, Jake worked, 12-hour shifts, worked all week, and bring in little. All right? Everything, the price of everything already, and as the last scripture said, subject to payments. All right? So you bringing in little. You eat, right, but you have not enough. You clothe, everything it'll never be enough. It'll never be enough, man. And it says, what you earn in wages, all right, to put it as if you put it in a bag with holes. All right, because everything is just gone. You get paid, hey, it's gone. The money you receive, it's gone. You work super hard, all right, you can't save up. You can't, do this and that. You just can't bullshit with your money, all right? No, it's to do something, man. You have to either pay this bill, take care of this, all right? So it's like you putting your money in a bag with holes, man, all right? So, hey, this ain't your rest, man, all right? All right, we got to get the hell out of here, all right? Now, let's go into this parable, because, hey, as I said earlier, all right, it's crumbs, man. So, let's go into this parable, Luke chapter 16, verse 19. It says, there was a certain rich man, which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day. Yeah, this rich man, all right, representing Esau, Edom, rich, wealthy, all right, the purple, all right, representing wealth. All right, it says what? Let's continue on. It says, and there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which laid at the gates full of sores. Yeah. So, and Lazarus, all right, representing Israel, all right, as a nation, all right, being broken down, in the slums, just fucked up, man, and this is how you see Jake. In the slums, in the ghettos, oppressed, all right, poor, hey, the book of Deuteronomy, all right, says how, we was going to go to our enemies for the want of all things, man, and this is how you see it. You want to work a job, hey, you need this and that, and you want to travel, hey, you have to go through this devil, all right, showing you who's in rulership, all right. Now, it says what? Verse 20, and there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which laid at the gates full of sores, and desired to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. Yeah, so, desiring the crumbs, all right? Because, hey, this ain't shit but crumbs, all right, Esau giving you. All right, the more, like I said, it's levels, man. All right, the little shit that you make, it's crumbs compared to what this devil has and what he's making, off you. All right, what he done made off you, off our ancestors, off us, building, all right, this country up, inventing all these things that Esau Edom made a profit off of. All right, forcing, work, labor, throwing you in prisons, having you work for dollars and change. All right, so it's crumbs, man. All right, but it says what? Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. The dogs representing, all right, the heathens, the other nations, man. You have what? Moab, Ham, who else? Ishmael. All these nations come over here, to oppress Jake even more. Chinese stores. Let's make money off Jake. Let's make a Chinese restaurant selling rat and bullshit to sell to Jake for the low. Let's start a liquor store. Let's, you know, in the hood, the Arabs, 7-Elevens, you know, to continue on to oppress Jake and make our money too. Licking the wombs. We got weave. We got weave for Eve. You know, to keep her happy. We got what? Coronas, beers for Ishakar, so he can get drunk. You know, all this shit, man, is to keep Jake oppressed. All right. So they licking the sores. Hey, this is why they all going to receive captivity. All right, our kingdom is they hell. Our kingdom is going to be Esau Edom's hell. All right. Now let's continue on. It says, and it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angel into Abraham's bosom, and the rich man also died, and was buried. And in hell he lift up his eyes, being in torments, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. You know, because as I said, you know, our kingdom, you know, hey, it's going to be Esau Edom's hell, man. You know, as it is, you know, in reverse in today's time. All right, Esau Edom, you know, hey, he's in rulership, man. All right, this is his queendom right here. All right, he received, you know, what he wanted. All right, you know, being, you know, segregated. All right, being away from Jake, staying in his big nice house. All right, you know, gated up where you don't have to see a nigga at all. You know, especially, you know, that's how it is here in Illinois. All right, where we at. You know, hey, you have Edomites, or, you know, they stay 20, 30 minutes away. All right, well, they don't have to see a nigga, you know. Hey, where we at right now, you know, you have sundown towns all around this motherfucker, man. You know? All right, probably not 15 to 20 minutes away. Hey, sundown towns. You know? And these Edomites, they don't have to see a nigga, all right, unless they come into the city, all right, where we at. You know? Maybe on the weekend to come get some food and enjoy a little family time or whatever. All right, but they go back to their sundown town. All right? So, hey, this is they heaven. All right, this is our hell. All right, hell represent, you know, meaning what? The condition, you know, that we in. All right? So, let's see where was we at. All right, verse 23, it says, and he lifted up his eyes, being in torments, and seeing Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus, that he may dip the tip of his finger in the water and cool my tongue, for I am torments in this flame. But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime received good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things, but now is he comforted, and thou art in torments. Yeah, so, you know, that's what's going to happen, all right, to Esau Edom. You know, when we be comforted, you know, in the kingdom, all right, that's going to be his hell. All right, without mercy, you know, because he's shown no mercy. All right, you know, and like it says, you know, you receive, you know, the good things. All right, you receive, you got it how you want it. Everyone is sin. Everyone is fucking wicked. You know, everything is wicked and out of order. All right, and this is how Esau made it, and this is how he wanted it. All right, but the time come, all right, the Lord is going to destroy this place. You know, and Esau Edom, he's, hey, you know, those curses is going to hit his ass. You know, his ass is going to get beat. He's going to what? You know, receive that cup. Captivity. All right? Because how he made it for Jake. The same way how he made it for Jake, he's going to receive it double. You know? He ain't show no mercy. All right? Everything he does, all right, to keep Jake fucked up. Keep him oppressed. Keep him poor. All right? Oh, you want to work hard? You know, hey, you want the riches? Well, do this. Hey, we could take this job away from you. You know, we could fire you. You know, make it hard for you. You know, hey, you want millions on this side. Hey, you have to, you know, sell your soul. You know, niggas will sell out. You know, any of these, you know, billionaires, all right, then fucking sold out, and it's wicked. You know, it's hard for, you know, a rich man to receive, you know, deliverance. All right, to enter into the kingdom. All right. There's to show you, you know, that, you know, receiving those riches here on this side, man. All right, you have to indulge in all type of shit. The same shit Esau is with. More activity, you know, sacrificing babies, all type of shit, man. All right, you can only imagine. All right, that's why, you know, you have to stir up your treasures in heaven. All right, the hell with this place, man. All right, you'll never, you know, make it here. All right, you forget about building this black community, this, black that. You know, all that shit ain't gonna mean shit. You know? Hey, you niggas done tried it. Esau Edom, he what? You know, he infiltrated the shit, you know, and put an end to it. All right, but he can't infiltrate, all right, this truth. All right, the elect at that, all right? You know? So, you know, Lord willing, all right, I'm ending off with that. Lord willing, all right, this video was edifying unto the elect, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Till next time, say Shalom.